Good morning, students. This is Dr. Minnie Matthew, Professor and Head of the Department of JG College of Commerce. First and foremost, it is my sincerest hope and prayer you are all well, both physically and emotionally. In the coming weeks, I will be rolling out online classes which will address the text in context to the current situation. I invite you to join me in this effort, firstly, by personally partaking in these online classes, and of course, by extending the invitation to all other fellow students who may benefit as well. Secondly, do share your suggestions. I would love to hear your thoughts. Now, I'm sure, my dear children, you remember when we did this particular lesson, two Thanksgiving Day gentlemen in the class. But as I reread this text all over again, I realized that there is a connection to the present day. Let us have a look. With all talk about the pandemic and the subsequent global economic crisis and our other current challenges, things can get quite devastating. People everywhere, and our institutions in particular, the ones in which we placed our trust, have been, shall we say, humbled, or worse, devastated or shattered. And where does that leave most of us today? Cowering in fear and insecurity of an unstable present and an uncertain future. Truth be told, there are many people looking for opportunities and finding some. Yet, overall, a cloud of doom and gloom hangs over us and affects anyone and everyone, some in very financial and tangible ways, and others in psychological ways. Demoralization is felt in almost every circle. It is here I'd like you all to reread this thought-provoking short story, Two Thanksgiving Day Gentlemen. Thanksgiving Day, as we all know by now, is a very special holiday in the United States. Many people gather with their families to eat a traditional Thanksgiving dinner of roast turkey and to talk of old times. Thanksgiving Day is more than a day of fond memories, parade, football, and special dinners. The true meaning of Thanksgiving has a broader significance. It is a call of action. It is important for us to remember that the word Thanksgiving is composed of two words, thanks and giving. Now let us ask ourselves, when do we say thanks or when do we say thank you? Yes, we use these words when we receive something from someone. And giving, another wonderful word. What is giving? As you receive, it is only natural that we get into the feel of giving to others. And that way, when you think about the word Thanksgiving, it is about thanks for what you received and paying it forward by giving. Through Thanksgiving, we are reminded to give thanks and to share and give. It is a gentle reminder to share our economic and material wealth, to share our time and talents with other people who could use our help. In terms of thought and deed, Thanksgiving gives us an enriched perspective on the abundance in our lives. Thanksgiving Day Gentlemen is a story of one man's effort under rather special circumstances to carry on these traditions. We have our character, Old Pete, who took a seat on his usual bench in Union Square. He'd been doing this for 9 years. And each time the same pleasant thing had happened. An old gentleman would come and take him to a restaurant and buy him a Thanksgiving dinner. But when old Pete took his seat this day, it was out of habit rather than hunger. Today, Pete was not hungry. He had had an enormous dinner and could hardly breathe. As he sat motionless, he saw the old gentleman coming toward him. He wanted to flee, but was too full of food to even. The gentleman, who looked older this time, invited old Pete to Thanksgiving dinner. They exchanged pleasantries, and old Pete just could not muster the courage to refuse the dinner and said to the old man, "I'll go with you gladly. I'm very hungry, sir." Let us pause for a while and ponder over this grateful gesture of old Pete. I'm sure, my dear students, had it been us in the place of Pete, we may have had made a couple of excuses. "Oh, I'm not hungry," or "I just had something," "No, I don't want," and so on and so forth. But look at the sentence old Pete speaks. "I'll go with you gladly. I'm very hungry, sir." We can all understand Pete's predicaments, and we wonder, why didn't he refuse the Thanksgiving dinner? Or maybe old Pete could have apologized and refused the dinner, saying he was invited by somebody and was not hungry. He could also have suggested that the old man could give the dinner to another poor person. Old Pete relished his second enormous dinner. He suffered from acute indigestion and was admitted to the hospital. An hour later, the old gentleman was brought to the same hospital. The case? The story resonates so deeply in today's time, with the pandemic threatening our very survival. We must remember, my dear children, we are not victims of circumstances. We create circumstances with our attitude and approach to life. Yes, we can complain, we can crib, we can feel that, well, what has happened to our regular life? We can be annoyed, we can be disturbed, we can feel suicidal, and there are hundreds of emotions running high. We can also talk big when the riding is high and when everything is going smoothly. The challenge is how to rise to the occasion when things are not going for us too well. We can bring on a better world, but people are not driven by self-interest and material gain, but by sublime and spiritual goals of large-heartedness and kindness. Let us then, my dear students, strive to build a world where materialism is not an end in itself, but a means to refine ourselves and perfect our personalities to reach. My dear students, I personally believe this may be the defining event of our lives. How we respond today will be etched into the annals of history for eternity. We shall see the sun rise and our planet restored to excellent health. Let this pandemic help you revisit your goals and ideals, your career paths and attitude to life. You came to earth in a certain package. You have the ability and responsibility to perfect the package. Like raw material, we can polish, shine, and transform ourselves. Go in and change yourselves. Go out and change the world. You stay safe. God bless. Thank you.